Hello, everyone. Tonight we're diving into one of the most heartbreaking and confusing cases in missing children's cases in Canadian history. Lily Sullivan, age 4, and Jack Sullivan, age 6. They vanished without a trace from their home in Nova Scotia on the morning of May 2nd, 2025. Their parents, Daniel Martel and Malaya Brooks Murray, claimed the children were safe that morning. But as the timeline unravels, so do the answers. The RCMP has confirmed multiple polygraphs, and public speculation is growing louder by the day. We're going to walk you through the full case timeline, every confirmed fact, every public statement, and lingering inconsistencies that continue to still raise flags. If you care about missing children and you believe in truth and accountability, and if you want to make sure this story isn't forgotten, stay right here. This is the case of Lily and Jack Sullivan, and this is Clutch Them Pearls.
Big rain, come along with me. Together with the truth you see. Got our pearls and our laughter too. The search for facts is always new. In this place we keep it real. Classy vibes and joyful zeal. Join the journey, it's just begun. We shine brighter than the sun. Hit the light and share the vibe. Catch those pearls, let's take the ride. Helen's here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear. Finding truth is what we do. So hit subscribe and join the crew. With every search we pave the way. Together we will save the day. With every laugh we lift our hearts. In the search we all take part. Thank you all for standing strong. Together we belong. Hit the light and share the vibe. Catch those pearls, let's take the ride. Helen's here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear. With every laugh we lift our hearts. In the search we all take part. Thank you all for standing strong. Together we belong. Hit the light and share the vibe. Catch those pearls, let's take the ride. Come in here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear.
The pearls were bound together through the storm and darkest weather. We search high, we search low, together everywhere we go. Justin's here and he's going live with the best fans by my side. We're a family, we hold strong. Together we can right the wrong. We clutch them pearls, we shine like stars. Searching wide, spreading love afar. Every stream, every heartfelt plea. We are one in this community. Daily grind, but we're not stopping. Pearls around the world just popping. With each view and every share, we send hope and show we care. We clutch them pearls, we shine like stars. Searching wide, spreading love afar. Every stream, every heartfelt plea. We are one in this community. popping, pearls around the world just popping. With each view and every share, we send hope and show we care. We clutch them pearls, we shine like stars, searching wide, spreading love afar. Every stream, every heartfelt plea, we are one in this community. In the night or in the day, girls will light and lead the way. Justice heart and your support, together we will hold the fort. Lily grind, but we're not stopping. Pearls around the world just popping. With each view and every share, we send hope and show we care.
Click play and come along with me. Together with the truth you see. Got our pearls and our laughter too. The search for facts is always new. In this place we keep it real. Classy vibes and joyful zeal. Join the journey, it's just begun. We shine brighter than the sun. Hit the like and share the vibe. Clutch those pearls, let's take the ride. Comments here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear. Defending truth is what we do. So hit subscribe and join the crew. With every search we pave the way. Together we will save the day. Defending truth is what we do. So hit subscribe and join the crew. With every search we pave the way. Together we will save the day. With every laugh we lift our hearts. In the search we all take part. Thank you all for standing strong. Together we belong. Hit the like and share the vibe. Clutch those pearls, let's take the ride. Comments here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear. Hit the like and share the vibe. Clutch those pearls, let's take the ride. Comments here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear.
Well, hello, 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 my beautiful pearls. Thank you all so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. Could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options, anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is June 13th, 2025. It is currently 6:08 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Really do appreciate you all. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're talking about Lily and Jack Sullivan, who have been missing from their Nova Scotia home since May 2nd, 2025. Their parents, stepdad Daniel Martel, and mother Malaya Brooks Murray claimed that the children were safe that morning, But as the timeline unravels, so do the answers. We have recently learned a lot more in the last couple days, some very interesting things that we discovered last night on this live. Going to go a little bit further into it, and there's some new stuff that is out as well that we're going to be speaking about. But before we get started, y'all, do me a favor. Please hit that thumbs up button. Would greatly appreciate that. It's a free way to help out the channel. And more importantly, it gets the word out. People need to see Lily and Jack Sullivan's face. Now, RCMP, they have said that they do not believe Lily and Jack are alive, but we still don't know. They could literally be anywhere. So it's important that this gets out there. Another way you can help is sharing this, clicking that link, sharing it on your social media. I guarantee you there's at least one person on your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, that has not seen or heard of Lily and Jack Sullivan. And you can change that just by sharing that link. Another way you can help out the channel is joining us, becoming a member of the Pearl family. We always are trying to grow our family. It really helps out, and it keeps me from selling candles called allegedly, right? So there's that. So if you guys would be so kind, or you can donate, that always helps as well. I'm independent and I'm a one-man band. So thank you all so much for joining me. I really enjoyed last night's conversation with you guys. Even in the comments below yesterday, you guys were just throwing out some amazing theories and all of that. Now, the only thing I ask is that if it is, you know, your opinion, or if it's speculation, just put in my opinion, uh, something like that in the chat. I have no problem with having an opinion or a theory, a hypothesis whatsoever, as long as we know that's what it is, right? Because there is so much misinformation on this case to begin with. We just want to be clear with our words. So without further ado, we're going to get started. Good to see you all. Good to see you, my beautiful pearls. We certainly do have a lot to talk about today. Thank you so much. Enjoy life. Really do appreciate you, my love. Good to see you. 12 months, you're on your year. It's our 1-year anniversary. Destination Bora Bora. Let's go. That, I've been all over the world. Enjoy life. I traveled a lot, a lot. And that is one place I've never been. And that is on my bucket list. It's on my bucket list. And I'll get there. It's coming. It's coming. It's really expensive to go to Bora Bora and all that. So, but we'll get there. I've never left the States. Oh, wow. All right. Hello, SL, Lil Red, Paige, Kent, Maria, Ginger. Enjoy life. Good to see you all. Remy, Bo, Laura, Eileen, Robin, The Pawn, Paula, Lady for Justice, Minderella, Robin. Good to see you all. Maurice, hello. I agree, Paula. I agree with you. Totally. All right. So we learned a lot last night. And one thing that we learned is what Daniel said he did the evening before Lily, the evening before Lily and Jack went missing. He says he was in his backyard working on the fence with the chicken wire. And he says everyone was at home, everyone was fine. We're going to get a lot more into that here in just a little bit as well. What else did we learn? They had checked in mine shafts. I think they have checked 3 or 4 mine shafts in Nova Scotia, like the area, wherever, I guess around there in the vicinity. And they are still looking for other mine shafts that they may not know about or whatever, because just a few years ago there was amateur mineral explorers, and they were looking in a mine shaft, and they found a case that a guy had been missing for 20 years. And guess what? They found the guy, right? It is still unsolved, but nonetheless, they have found him. And so, there's a lot of old mine shafts and stuff in Canada. Canada is filled with uh, minerals and oil and all of that. So there's that. Also, what else did we learn? We learned that Daniel talked to homicide detectives, and something very interesting in that. I know a lot of people was kind of, and this was Daniel speaking from that. He said that he talked to homicide detectives, but what was more interesting for me was he said he gave the homicide detective, you know, ideas about, other names that could have perhaps, possibly, allegedly, maybe have done something with Lily and Jack. And to me, that's very interesting, because if you have no idea what happened, why are you know, are you suspecting family members? Are you suspecting friends? All of that, because you were laying in bed at allegedly, 7:30, 7:40ish that morning. They claim Lily pokes her head in the bedroom a couple times, or in some accounts, in some of their stories, they say that Lily actually came in their room. They didn't want to wake their 16-month-old daughter named Meadow, and told him, to step out. And 20 minutes later, both are gone. Also, allegedly, Malaya calls the school at 6:15 that morning. We're going to get more into that as well. I was thinking about some stuff last night after the live, and I want to talk more about that. We have a lot to cover today. What's that? There is a strange There is something strange behind your head on the back wall. Can you check? That right there, that's Remy Swing. That's Remy Swing. That's what it is. The pink thing, it's Remy Swing. That's what it is. Good to see you, Soul Shine. Thank you so much, Mike. You're on your year anniversary too. Oh, that right there, on the, I forget, there, right there. Yeah, on the ceiling. That is a hook for another swing. That's what it is. Yeah, it's a hook. I haven't got it done yet. No, it's not a bug or anything like that. It's a big hook. Okay. So thank you so much, Soul Shine. Really do appreciate you. Your eyes sparkle with those glasses. Oh, thank you so much, my dear. I really do appreciate you. I like the frames, but they're not comfortable at all. At all. So I don't know what I'm gonna do, but we'll figure. They're cheap. They're cheap anyway, so I don't really care. But I would like a little comfort, you know what I mean? Thank you so much, my dear. Single mom, thank you so much, my dear, for gifting a pearl necklace. Really do appreciate you. You received that. Give our girl, single mom, a big, big thank you. Thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate you, my dear. Good to see you. There's Angel. Hi, Angel. You look fabulous. Loving your new glasses. Sweetie hugs to you. And love you, Miss Angel. Really do appreciate you. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you are well, Miss Angel. Thank you so much. And Dawn, thank you so much, my dear. Really good to see you. Justice for all of these children. Thank you so much for 15 months. Really do appreciate you, my dear. Yeah, where's Irony Rose? Is she okay as well? I hope she's okay as well. Sitting here on day 2 at the CLT airport, listening and watching your show. Iowa girl, have you been there for 2 days? Ouch. Not good. Not good. Okay, let's get it started, y'all. So, again, a lot to cover. Let me pull up a little something here. I will be live after this about Daniel Martel, stuff coming out about that as well that we're going to have to cover. So, without further ado, let's get it started. This is a very interesting part, in my opinion. Let me see here. Let me give the credit where credit is due. And credit belongs to the Global News. Let me just put their link in here for the replay crew and for credit. Maybe. Global News. All right. I'll put link in the chat as well if you want to see this later without my commentary for the replay crew. It's in the description as well. All right, here we go. Oops, wrong one. Perhaps. Ooh, what am I doing? Sorry. Okay, let's get it started. Here we go. Credit goes to the Global News. It's very interesting seeing this detective locally speaking about this, what his opinion is. And I got to agree with him on this. Now, let's make it extremely clear that the RCMP has not stated that anyone is a suspect or has been named even a person of interest in Lily and Jack Sullivan's disappearance. However, people can have their opinions, and you can have yours, whether you think something perhaps nefarious happened with one of the parents, both of the parents, or none, or someone else, or they just walked out of the door like the parents are claiming. That's fine. You guys know I have my opinion, and I've always kind of been the same way since day one. It's either, in my opinion, both parents know, or they walked out on their own. And I don't think they walked out on their own. Let's just make that clear. But I don't see how both parents can't know. But what I am going to show you guys here in a little bit, there's something Malaya did the morning the children went missing. And it makes me wonder a little bit more about Malaya now. Not that I've ever thought, something wasn't suspicious, because I certainly have, but we'll get into all that shortly as well. Don, thank you so much for 15 months. Really do appreciate you, my dear. Justice for all these children. Amen. You are an OG, my dear. Good to see you. Really do appreciate you, my friend. All right, without further ado, credit goes to the Global News. Link is provided in the description, using this under the Fair Use Act of 1976 for commentary, criticism, and news purposes. Let's get started.
If this is not a criminal investigation now, I'd be totally surprised.
It's been almost 6 weeks since Lily and Jack Sullivan were first reported missing from their home in Lansdowne Station. On Wednesday, the RCMP in Nova Scotia said many RCMP units, including Major Crime, are involved in the investigation.
First thing, First thing out of the interview, if this isn't, a crime, I would be really surprised. I agree with that. Right? This is a retired police officer in the area, right? He's been around the block. He knows what he knows. Faith of Revere says, I think Malia is more guilty than Daniel, but both know, and she is setting him up to take the fall. Really interesting. Okay.
Along with the National Center for Missing Persons, police say they formally interviewed 54 people in their search, and this former Halifax regional police officer doesn't take that lightly.
They're out there, and the only way they're going to see or get results in this is to be out there talking to people, looking at videos, looking at topography and what have you, and so on. They're not in offices doing this by a laptop. Let's put it that way.
Right, and it's going to take what they call good old-fashioned police work, right? And I guess that's what they've been doing. The RCMP's been working very, very hard on this case, but they've still don't have any idea where Lily and Jack are, right? They've done, 3 or 4 searches at this point, and no searches are planned that I'm aware of, at least, right? So are they just doing the detective work? Are they still providing more interviews? Yesterday, we were reading how someone from the RCMP said they thought this would be solved a lot sooner, and that this may be a case that takes some time. How much time are we talking, right? How much time are we talking? Are we talking months, right? Years? What are we talking about here? Does whoever have, if someone has Lily and Jack Sullivan, do they just, keep walking? Is that what happens? I don't know. But I agree with him. If this is not a criminal case at this point, I don't know what to say. Now, we know that, here in the States and in Canada, sometimes, many times, most times, the law enforcement will not tell you if it's a criminal case in a missing child's case specifically, right? They don't, because if something happens, right, and they're never able to press charges or anything on the individual or individuals, then that can really be really bad for the police, because the police is the government essentially, and the government is essentially accusing them of a crime, not an opinion. That isn't, when the government says you did this, right, it's not a good thing. And if they never ever got to prosecute them, then one or the other could go back and really sue the hell out of them, right? So they keep it really, really tight with their lips. So I don't know. I do think this is absolutely, they're using this as a criminal investigation. Even Daniel Martel, we learned, spoke to a homicide detective. I mean, homicide. We're clear, all 1,250 of you in here right now, we all know what homicide is, right? So, if you're speaking to the homicide
In an
detective,
update,
and if he's giving names, if Daniel is giving names, why the hell are you giving names if you think that they walked out on their own? Or if you have any idea about who could have done this, shit, start flapping your lips on camera, right? Put some pressure on it, Daniel.
This week, the RCMP say they've collected hundreds of hours of video from areas surrounding Lansdowne Station between April 28th and May 2nd, when the kids went missing, and have received nearly 500 tips from the public. Police say they've searched every aspect of the family's home and received authorization to seize and examine devices.
They'll go on.
Mama Angie is right. She says, my daughter's death has been an open case for 3 years. Sometimes it takes a long time for either people to talk or evidence to show up. You're right. You're right. I am terribly sorry about your daughter, Mama Angie. I really am. That's something no parent should go through. And sometimes, you're right, it does take time for people to speak, to get more comfortable, to slip up, or sometimes the technology changes and they can learn more that way. Because this is in such a secluded area, it makes it that much more harder, in my opinion.
The balance of probabilities.
Receive tips from the public. Police say they've searched every aspect of the family's home and received authorization to seize and examine devices.
They'll go on the balance of probabilities based on the area that we fully searched with a lot of people. We can't find any evidence, be it a backpack, a shoe, or whatever. We can't find the kids. If you can't find them, somebody has to say enough is enough right now for searching those areas. So now we move to where? There's only one other option.
Bam. He said it. He said it right there, right? There's only one other option. I mean, what are they supposed to do? You know, to be clear, the RCMP, no evidence is evidence. Yeah, exactly. There should be something. There should be something to say that, you know, a 4 and a 6-year-old is in those woods. Remember, they don't normally go, I mean, maximum is 1.2 miles for their age group. 1.2 miles. I can't even imagine them going that far in how thick those woods are. So if you've searched the radius with technology, right, fixed wing aircrafts, drones, all of this, and you haven't found even a thread on these, you know, from the kids, a footprint, nothing on camera, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? You know, whenever they say that the kids walked out of the home and there's inconsistencies in their stories and it doesn't really seem right, and the family is fighting with each other that week, police are called, and then the mom, Malaya Brooks Murray, leaves the house, breaks up with her long-term boyfriend that she has a child with, changes her status to single. Hello. It's not looking real good.
A nefarious take to this. In other words, a criminal type thing. That's only my personal opinion.
Police say they've used polygraph tests in some interviews. This former polygraph examiner south of the border says the test is used to monitor how a person's nervous system responds to certain questions.
If somebody is successful in the test, then not that they're being eliminated, but they'll spend more time on people that are not successful. Not passing the test doesn't mean you're guilty or you're involved. It simply means that there's some issue there, maybe some knowledge, guilty knowledge.
Moriello says he's seen people pass tests who were later proven guilty. More than 160 search and rescue volunteers have scoured through the densely wooded area surrounding the children's home,
Did y'all hear that? That's why these things are so unreliable. He's heard of people taking tests that were later found guilty. They are very, very, they're they're very easily manipulated, right? Especially if you have a narcissist on there, or you have someone taking medication. They're not supposed to take medication, but they do take medication, right? But they do. Thank you so much, Miss Robin. Good to see you, my dear. Really do appreciate you. Thank you for the lovely energy, Justin. You are really radiant. Aw, thank you, Miss Robin. Really do appreciate you, Robin. Very kind of you. And thank you so much for your support. Welcome along the Pearl family. We love having you and love to hear your opinion on this. Thank you so much, my dear. Good to see you. And Miss Holly, thank you so much as well. Hope you are well, Miss Holly. Thank you for everything. You work so hard for these messages. Thank you. Happy Friday. Thank you, Miss Holly. I really do appreciate you, my dear. Really, truly. And thank you for being a member and a mod on this channel. Good to see you. If mom was on meds for depression and PPD related stuff, those can be fatal to kids. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I don't know. I mean, I want to make it clear. A, I'm not a doctor. B, I don't know her health history or anything. But if someone is on antidepressants or PPD medications, postpartum depression medications, right? It could be fatal. However, that can also help you pass a lie detector test too. That's where I go with that. You know what I mean? So, if mom had an attorney for Gaston, Daniel should have one as well, unless he didn't comply with something, possibly, in my opinion. See, that's the thing. I mean, it's been rumored that mom has an attorney on the, I guess, reservation. Is that what Canadians call them? We call them reservations here. On like native soil. Then, but we don't know. We don't know that either. It's not been confirmed. So she might have an attorney, and this is another thing. Attorney doesn't mean you're guilty, right? Attorney doesn't mean you're guilty. To me, what makes someone look really suspicious is not so much an attorney. It is that you moved out day 2. You did one interview in nearly 2 months, and I haven't seen her do anything to advocate for her kids. And then the stories that they're telling us.
There, maybe some knowledge, guilty knowledge.
Moriello says he's seen people pass tests who were later proven guilty. More than 160 search and rescue volunteers have scoured through the densely wooded area surrounding the children's home, but only a small boot print was found. Police continue to refer to the case as a missing persons investigation.
They're covering it all, everything they can. And you only do that in depth when there's a criminal investigation with major crime on.
And that's another thing, right? That's another thing. Why one boot print? Right? I mean, this, there wasn't even leaves on when Lily and Jack went missing in Canada, right? There wasn't even leaves on the trees. And it's more, it's more damp that time of year. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it just had rained, I believe, right? Hey, Nana, good to see you, honey. Keeping you in our prayers. Hope you're doing okay. And so why? I mean, you would think they would find more than one footprint or one boot print, right? For sure. Thank you, Jen. Thank you so much, dear. Guilty as charged. I was at work. Here's my fee. Thank you for paying your late fee. Thank you so much, Jen. Good to see you, my dear. You're still getting an office call, though. You're still listen. You're still getting an office call. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. Okay. Jen, to the office, please. You're being paged. Jen, to the office, please. You're being paid. Paged. I was gonna say, guys, make sure you give Jen a late slip, but she paid her fine. She paid her fine. Thank you so much, Maria. Good to see you, my love. Really do appreciate you very much. Appreciate all of you, Justin. Thank you so much, Miss Maria. Appreciate you, my love. Thank you for all your support. I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much, Mimeka. Am I saying that right? Thank you so much, my dear. Good to see you. Really do appreciate you very much for your support. I'm tough, but I get to call me to the office here in a little bit too, because I was late. I was late. All right, let's go, because we got a lot to talk about. We got to get into the deep stuff in a
His
minute.
home, but only a small boot print was found. Police continue to refer to the case as a missing persons investigation.
They're covering it all, everything they can. And you only do that in depth when there's a criminal investigation with major crime on scene. They're not there just because they're major crime. They're there to do their major crime work.
Mitchell Bailey, Global News, Halifax.
I thought that was very interesting. I really did, hearing his opinion. It's always nice hearing. It's always nice hearing, you know, police who are retired or, you know, don't work on that case or whatever, because it's not their first rodeo. It's very, very important. So there's that. Now, 54 interviews done, polygraphs have been completed. Daniel says it went in his favor, right? Daniel also says that homicide detectives have interviewed him. He's given names to people, but how does he know? That's a weird thing. That's a weird thing to say. Mother Malaya Brooks Murray leaves the day after the kid's disappearance. No public statement since. Malaya hasn't been heard from at all, right? Malaya allegedly, well, Daniel's cousin was allegedly there right after the kids went missing. The cousin said, "Hey, do you want me to watch your kids or watch Meadow so you can look for your other two children?" And she says no, allegedly. So that's something, right? So we learned yesterday that Daniel says he was outside that evening and he was working on the fence, putting up chicken wire, right? Putting up chicken wire. Is there new chicken wire in the area? I don't know. I mean, I know what chicken wire is, but I think, you know, yesterday we were looking at the fence, the actual fence. But what about the chicken wire? Right? Do they have any photos from that day? One second. Okay, I apologize about that. Was there any pictures of the kids taken Thursday? Now, RCMP said they were seen outside of the home with family members. They didn't go into who the family members was, but did they take any photos that day? I don't think that they did. I don't think that they did, in my opinion, because you would think they would have shown that pretty earlier in to prove that the kids were alive and well then. But around, I think it was 2 or 3 o'clock, they say that the kids are seen. Again, we don't know with who. But later that evening, this is where it gets interesting. Daniel, like I said about he was outside with the chicken wire. He says all of his family, right? I'm assuming not counting his mom, but all of his family, Jack, Lily, Meadow, Malaya, himself, five, were at home. Everyone was just chilling that day, right? Just chilling. Now, to me, it's very interesting that he speaks about chicken wire out of all things, right? Why does he not talk about Jack or why does he not, sorry, why does he not talk about Jack or Lily? Right? Like you spoke about yourself, what you were doing, but what were Jack and Lily doing that evening? What were they doing? It's not about you, Daniel. I mean, I appreciate that you told us what you were doing, but why in, the world are you not speaking about what Jack or Lily are doing? They're the ones who are missing. This is the topic, right? I did notice a cut on his face. I think that's a scar. I think that's a scar. It sounds like, in my opinion, he's always trying to get ahead of the story. The pawn says that's just it. Daniel only seems to talk about the kids in passing and usually only talks about himself. Well, let's get a little further into it. I need to pull up my notes here so I know what to talk about and go in the order that I need to go into, right? So really something could have happened in a theory wise, not saying it did, Thursday evening, late, like after 4 or 5 p.m., I would say, to up until 8 a.m. Friday morning, right? I think, in my opinion, something happened Thursday night, evening, or in the very early hours of Friday morning. Just in my opinion. He is also the only one to leave the property unsupervised before police arrived. Allegedly, yes. Yep. Allegedly. We're going to kind of get into more of that as well. Thank you, single mom. So Thursday evening, Daniel says he's working on the fence or whatever. The whole family's there. What did they eat for dinner? What did y'all eat for dinner Thursday, Daniel? Right? Did you bath the kids? Who bathed the kids? What time did you give Lily cough medicine, Malaya? None of that, which would be very important to speak about, you would think. Not about speaking on yourself that you were putting up chicken wire, but about what the kids were doing that evening. Wasn't it said that Malaya went somewhere, our vehicle broken down, and she had to have a vehicle towed to her mom's? I've not heard that. What time were they put to bed? Yes, Carol. What time were they put to bed? Those kind of questions are very, very important, right? Did Jack and Lily go to bed like normal? There is a very, very giant black hole between approximately 5 p.m. Thursday and approximately 6 a.m. Friday morning. And then we get the very early stage of that morning where Malaya says she calls the school. And like I talked about yesterday, I'll just kind of reiterate that. I don't care who she talked to, if she talked to a machine, if she spoke to a person, it doesn't matter to me. When did she decide that she was keeping Jack and Lily home again for Friday? Was it the night before or was it that morning? Now, I'm going to go a little further into that now. Going into that, right? The question is, Lily and Jack didn't go to school Thursday. We know that. They didn't go to school Wednesday either because there was no school. It was a holiday. But we know Wednesday and Thursday, they were alive, not missing at the very minimum. At the very minimum. But Thursday morning is a very important day as well. Thursday morning is a very important day as well. And the reason it is so important is because did Malaya call the school at 6:15 on Thursday? Did she call the school 6:15 a.m. on Thursday? And if she didn't, that's a problem, in my opinion. A big problem. Big, 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 big problem. Why? Why is it a big problem? Patterns. Patterns are very important to human beings, to all of us. We are all creatures of habit in some way, shape, or form. There is a pattern that our kids go to school Monday through Friday, right? We wake up at the same time every day, right? We go possibly have our coffee first, get our head together, then wake up the kids, maybe read that morning, exercise, whatever, before you wake up the kids. Or you might just roll out of bed and wake up the kids, but you do the same thing every day. You do the same thing every day. And 6:15, in my opinion, is quite early for Malaya to be calling the school. It just is. It's very, very early for Malaya to be calling the school. What time does the school start there? 8? Does anyone know? Because I don't. Average schools in America start at about 8 o'clock. Right. Whether she emailed, whether she called, it doesn't matter. Does not matter to me. It still doesn't change. She could have called, she could have spoken to someone, she could have spoken to a machine, she could have emailed, she could have sent a carrier pigeon for all I care. The fact is, she was up and she consciously did an action, right? And the action was calling the school to say Jack and Lily are not going to be present today. If she didn't do it Thursday, and if someone had to call her for Thursday, the school, right? You call the school or the school calls you. Jack was not sick. It was just a cough with Lily, which to me, missing 2 days for a cough and there is no alleged doctor's appointment, I think that's a little bizarre. Respectfully, that's just me though. So that would be interesting to know, right? Thank you so much. Hey Jude, really. Hey Jude and Justin to the office, please. Hey Jude and Justin to the office. We need a late slip for Hey Jude and Justin to the office. Thank you so much, my dear. Really do appreciate you very much for your support. My love. Who's on first? Thank you so much, my friend. So good. Most have great intentions, but some are so judgmental. Innocent parents blame themselves. Even when a mother kidnaps their child, yet some say neglect, endangerment. Stop being so cruel without proof. Are you saying that to me? Or are you saying that in general? I don't know what you mean by that, my dear. But your actions and behavior is very important. It tells people only behave for a certain reason. Our behaviors, I mean, this is the thing. We smile because we're happy, generally, right? We cry generally because we're sad, or they can be happy tears, but it's always for a reason, right? And so people's actions are for a reason. People's behavior is for a reason. And when the reasons are unclear, when the reasons are, what's the word I'm looking for? They don't align up with what is even remotely normal. I mean, who doesn't look for their kids? Who doesn't panic whenever their kids are missing? Who doesn't shout from the rooftops? Who doesn't say, "Here, thank you for watching Meadow. I'll be back in just a little bit. I've got to go find Jack and Lily." You know what I mean? And that's the thing. That's the thing. Thank you so much, my dear Lisa. Good to see you. I appreciate you. Thank you for coverage in this case. I don't see much here in Canada. Thank you so much, Miss Lisa. Really do appreciate your support, my love. Good to see you, hun. Very, very much. Mohawk says the vigil was in front of the RCMP station, not even close to home. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. And I'll be the first to say, I think sometimes people are ultra critical about very small details. And it's easy. Let me just put it straight to you. Nobody is perfect. None of us are. None. Zero, zilch, nada. None of us are without flaw. Right? None of us are without flaw. We don't expect perfection here, because there is no such thing as perfection, Ginger. But what you expect to see something, right? Something from a mother. Something. Because there is or should be nothing more important to you than your children. And if your children don't get your ass up when they're missing and you don't know where they are, naturally people are like, why? Why? Why wouldn't you want to assist with answering some questions about what, go into further of what Lily and Jack were like, right? Why is your family blaming, according to Daniel at least, blaming Daniel? That's a problem. You know what I mean? That's a problem. I don't get it. I don't get it. Cuz this is the thing, even animals, right? What happens when you take, like, a puppy when they're really 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 little away from their mom, a cat, whatever? They look for him. They look for him, especially if they're making a sound. You know what I mean? Who's on first? Oh, thank you, my dear. Appreciate you. No, not you, Justin. You're respectful and just ask the right questions. It's just a trend where some people instantly accuse every parent of being a lousy person. People make mistakes. We need to judge people on what we know. I agree. I agree. And let me tell you something. I'm not a perfect. I am certainly not a perfect person. And but this is the thing I will say, when it comes to a lot of these cases, m- truthfully, the reason they get this big is something has to not be right. That's the only reason a case gets as big as it does with Sebastian, with Summer, with Lily and Jack. Something is not right, right? Or there's something very bizarre, lots of layers in the case. You know what I mean? I've actually said, and I truly believe this, and I know a lot of you guys don't agree with me on this, and that's absolutely okay. I actually think uh Malaya and Daniel are good individuals. I really do. But I do think, like many of us along the way in life, get off track sometimes. And unfortunately, sometimes, many times, children can be collateral damage. And that is something we've seen so many times. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I think it's, I think people are, I mean, as a creator on here, there are people that are, I mean, nitpick the hell out of everything. Everything. If it's this big, they'll make it this big, right? And it can be absolute bullshit. absolute bullshit. I just try to be real with y'all. I give you my opinion. It's just my opinion. I'm one of 7 billion on the planet. I still feel like Daniel sent them outside. That's part of his guilt. I don't know. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, I believe it was an accident too. I believe this was, in my opinion, we're going to cover that in just a little bit more here in a minute. In my opinion, I believe RCMP makes huge mistakes too. I don't trust the searching. Mary, RCMP has made, remember when that pew pewer was going off in Canada several years back now? That was a huge mistake the RCMP makes. And it doesn't matter if it's the RCMP or FBI here or what, we're all human at some point, and we are going to make mistakes. I've made plenty of mistakes on my channel, especially when I was just starting out. It's a big learning curve. And I think most mistakes can be, at least sutured back together at some level. But I also think there are certain ones that can't. Not everything can be fixed. Right? Not everything can be fixed in life. And that is why these are so heartbreaking. So heartbreaking. Because, I get emotional. I can't. These children are probably not coming back. Right? Not coming back. And I will say many times, especially if it's a neglectful, what I call a neglectful mistake, meaning they left drugs out, something like that. They were, in their room or whatever. Kids got into them. And, I don't know why I spelled drugs. Drugs can be ibuprofen. It can be Tylenol. It doesn't have to be street drugs. Let's make that clear as well. But if they, and they, mom had a headache or she was, on her monthly, and she took some, ibuprofen out. The kids got in them. They were hungry. Just because it doesn't mean Malaya and Daniel doesn't miss their children, right? Of course they miss their children. They're missed, or I mean, I don't know if they're missing, but they may know what happened to them, right? And that's something, if that is the case, that's something they're going to have to live with the rest of their life. But regardless, most likely they're going to have to live the rest of their life 2 kids that are probably not coming back. Right? Not coming back. And so I don't think it's always one way or the other. I really do think in a lot of these cases, if there's not been true neglect, true abuse, or, disdain for the children, especially step parents, I don't think Daniel was like that. I do think he was close to Lily and Jack. I don't think it's all one way or the other sometimes. You know what I mean? I don't know that, Laura, to be quite honest with you. I think it's very similar to the United States where they have to be invited on, if you will. You know what I mean? Something like that. So there's that. So thank you so much. Who's on first? Appreciate you, my dear. Miss Michelle. Right before in the very beginning. Hi, Justin and Pearls. Michelle, do you have that anywhere? I would love to see that, actually. That would be very interesting to see. That would make a lot more sense. You know what I mean? To have a doctor's excuse and for the kids to not be there for 2 days in a row. That would make more sense. Maybe, they could have been at the doctor's office Thursday for all we know when they were seen out. We just don't know. That's the thing. But if you have that, please send that to me. I would love to see that. And thank you for your support, Miss Michelle. Good to see you. And thank you, Alex Chloe. Thank you so much, my dear. Good to see you. Hope you are well. Thank you so much for your support, Miss Alex Chloe 6. Good to see you. Welcome to the Pearl family. And thank you so much. If you received that pearl necklace, make sure you thank Alex Chloe 6 for gifting a pearl necklace. Very kind of you, my dear. Good to see you. Is Daniel close to his bio kids? I think so. I mean, as much as he can possibly be, but that's another thing we're going to get in this live about as well, because Daniel said something interesting. And what it is that he now has he's getting supervised visits. So we're going to get into that in just a minute as well. Right. I wonder what the mother of Daniel's other children say. That would be very interesting to know as well, right? So, again, Malaya, she calls, texts, emails, sends a carrier pigeon, sends a Morse code. However, she sends that Lily and Jack will not be in school that day, allegedly at 6:15. She had to prove a point of whenever she was going to make that decision. Was it the night before? Was it that morning? She had to be physically awake at 6:15 to send an email, a phone call, a carrier pigeon, a Morse code, whatever, right? Because I've heard it all. I've really heard it all. And that being said, Thursday, she should have done the same thing because we're creatures of habit, right? Now, moving on. I really do believe that from something, in my opinion, perhaps could have happened to the kids Thursday night, evening, or early hours of Friday, right? And again, we don't know about if Lily and Jack took a bath, if they played games that day. He said they're all home, but he doesn't say what they do other than Daniel himself is putting up chicken wire. Now, what time was their bedtime? Yes. Let me read. I'm just reading my notes. 1 second. And it kind of looks, in my opinion, like him wanting to protect himself, adapt to the make himself an alibi, if you will, right? Now, at 8 a.m., they're supposedly in bed with baby Meadow. They told Lily to be quiet. That tells us something, right? That the kids were awake and making noise at some point, especially if she was allegedly come in the room. Now, Malaya says, "Do you hear them?" Daniel says no. Suddenly, they're both gone. And if that doesn't punch a hole in the story, in my opinion, then really nothing else could. Would either one of them needed help to get out of the fence that day? Is there openings in that fence as well? Now, two kids having, if there's an accident, if they're having the same accident, right? It can only be a couple of things, right? If like one was on a ladder, right? And the other one, even if they were both on a ladder, let's say they were both on a ladder and they both fell off, it's highly unlikely that both of them would perish, right? Justin, they could have went under the trailer. There was no skirting there. That's true. That's true. But wait, yeah, there was the skirting was broke on that one side. But that's the thing. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, why have a fence if you can go under your home? Don't they have dogs there? There's that. Usually in search parties, usually in searches, parents are not encouraged to search because law enforcement doesn't want the parents finding the kids unalive. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Especially in the beginning. Especially in the beginning. But there is a million other ways. A million other ways to advocate and do things for your missing children, right? And you should see that with especially a mom. So it's very rare that the same accident happens to the same kids at the same time and they both perish. Accident involving one child it's tragic. It's still, rather rare. But two children at once, that raises a statistical bar to almost unbelievable levels unless they were both exposed to, for instance, carbon monoxide. But if they were exposed to carbon monoxide, then you would think others in the house would be sick, number one. Number two, that is an accident, right? That's an accident. And that is something you call and get help with, right? The only way you don't call and get any sort of help is if there is something that could make you get in trouble. right? Okay, Cindy Lou, thank you. So, and that's, in my opinion, what we have to explore. Right. Okay, thank you, Crime Cases. Thank you, my dear. Appreciate you. Someone just messaged me. Malaya has for sure is living with her mom, and this is what this person wrote to me. Malaya is for sure living with her mom and Meadow. She has to be supervised with baby, so move there to be with the baby. Her mom lives 10 minutes from me out in the country. Her mom talks to someone I talked to, and the person told me this information. I don't talk directly to Malaya or her mom, though, but wanted to clear that up. Everyone keeps trying to figure it out. I happen to be told the proper information. Love your channel and love you. Thank you so much, my dear, for letting us know that. That's very interesting. And so we'll just we're going to cover that in a second because I got to get to Daniel what he says. Thank you for that. But there's no evidence of carbon monoxide, and so they were left unattended, essentially, right? Is there any sort of water like in their property? Like, is there? I don't think there's any sort of pond or anything, right? There could be like a barrel, right? That kids could jump in if it had water in it or whatever. If they went outside and they were, found perhaps that way. But I still think that is a much less likely scenario. But it would have to be something like that. Like, oh my God, law enforcement's going to really get on me. Like, I can go to prison for that because I should have known better as a parent. Well, need a body to check for carbon monoxide. Yeah, but this is the thing, Mohawk. If it was carbon monoxide, they would have most likely been sick, number one. Number two, you would call. You would call and say, oh my God, we've got gas or whatever, I mean, unless you have I think if you have like a open fireplace and not enough ventilation, you can have carbon monoxide. But there is dogs that could pick that up as well. So I don't think it's that, in my opinion. And in HGG, I agree. I feel like it's most likely there is a poisoning of some, if there is foul play. Right. I think it was something happened. So she had CPS at her door that day. Yeah, we're gonna get into all of that. Okay. So it's highly unlikely that, it's almost impossible, in my opinion, that one child would have been, let's say, drowned in a bathtub and the other one would have, swallowed medication of some sort. That is it's rare for one thing to happen, let alone separate things happen, unless they were just absolutely being unattended for a, long amount of hours. A 4-year-old, that's really little, right? 4, that's preschool. That's preschool. So it's very unlikely that there would be 2 different random accidents, in my opinion. Now there is times where generally the older kid sees a parent doing something to the kid, and like a younger child, and then the parent will do something to the older child because they don't want to get in trouble. So there's that, right? Uh so there's that. For instance, like if Lily would be choking on something or fall or suffers, some sort of injury, panic, instead of calling authorities, someone tries to cover it up. Jack sees, he's 6 years old, he talks. What happens then? Kind of thing. You get what I'm saying? So I think I don't think it's that either, just respectfully. I don't think it's that. I think it's most likely something that's a poison of some sort that could potentially be ingested. Again, if there is foul play, we have no idea because RCMP has not stated that it is foul play at all that I'm aware of. Above link. Okay. So you guys, I know you guys heard about this, and I'm going to talk just briefly on something that, because I'm getting a bunch of text about it. Um, it's about a different case. There was a woman, or there was a foot that was found in Tennessee earlier today, and it's a woman's foot. It's not anything to do with any other case. It is a woman's foot. So if you see anybody putting out there crazy theories and speculation, like way out there with the tinfoil hat, tell them, please. And to me, it's just as likely that the children wandered off because there's, no scent trail, no confirmed, even that the door opened. They opened the door by themselves. So there's that. Now, let's talk about 6:15 Friday morning when she calls the school, because she allegedly calls with Daniel's phone. Is that true? Allegedly calls with Daniel's phone. Why would she be calling, emailing, texting, using Daniel's Morse code machine, whatever the hell they're called, or Daniel's carrier pigeon? I'm being facetious here. Why would she be using Daniel's whatever that morning? Right. According to Daniel, she uses his phone. Smoke signals, yes. Mom said she never saw or heard kids Friday, though. How does she say that? She said she was going in and out, and then she didn't hear him, so she jumps up. She asked Daniel, and they both jump up. But if you didn't, that's a good point. Hold on, I just thought of something. Ooh, that's a good point. Sometimes y'all make me think of some very interesting things. Brooks Murray. Let's go. Okay. We're going to watch this. I just thought of this. This is very interesting. Because this doesn't make sense if that's what I'm thinking.
And I want them home. Just staying as hopeful as possible. I want them home. I want to hold them. And I want them home. What happened was we woke up, I heard them playing in the next room beside us, and I was drifting in and out of sleep, and they're not the type of kids that we...
Okay, I just now caught something there. She said, what happened was we woke up. And I'm just telling you, in my opinion, I feel like she said we woke up. What happened was we woke up and pause. Did y'all wake up and find something? But that's not what I'm interested in. I just caught that. I'm interested in something else here.
We tell them not to go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them. And they happen to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew, it was quiet, and we get up, and I tell him, my partner, Daniel, I tell him, do you hear the kids? And he says, no. And we get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere, yelling for them. And I instantly just call 911. I just had the instinct I needed to call. They're both really go-lucky children. They're so sweet. They talk to anyone. They'll talk your ear off. They will speak to anyone in a store. Everyone. They're just extremely sweet kids. I appreciate the huge search effort going on right now. But we've been pushing for an Amber Alert, which hasn't been issued. Not just that they could possibly be abducted, which it is a possibility that they could have been, but just an alert to let everyone know that they are missing. We had people text me saying that they weren't aware, someone else let them know that they were missing, and it would just be nice if everyone could be alerted. We thought maybe that we found tracks, but it's still uncertain. It's been raining and they're probably soaking wet, but with the sun...
Okay, just give me 1 second here, because I'm trying to I'm trying to understand exactly what she's saying right
I tell
here.
him, do you hear the kids? And
Hold on.
And they were outside playing, and out of the room, just staying as hopeful as possible. I want them home. I want to hold them, and I want them home. What happened was we woke up. I heard them playing in the next room beside us, and
Okay, so what happened was we woke up. I heard them playing. Heard them playing. Okay.
And I was drifting in and out of sleep, and
she was conveniently drifting in and out of sleep. Got it.
they're not the type of kids that we tell them not to go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them.
And Daniel says she never goes out with them. That's what he says. That's not what I say. He's the only one that ever goes out with them. Now, I believe that they probably played outside alone a lot when the weather was nice. That's just my opinion.
And they happened to just get out that sliding door, and we can't
They happened.
hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew, it was quiet, and we get up, and I tell him
And hold on. Up.
it, and we get up, and I tell him.
Okay. So the next thing we know, it was quiet. Okay. Now, if you're drifting in and out of sleep, are you knowing, like, isn't it quiet when you're asleep? And if you're drifting in and out of sleep for 20 minutes, she says, what happened was we, meaning Daniel and I, woke up, right? We woke up and crap. What did I do? What happened was I woke up, or we woke up, and Daniel and I, hold on. This is interesting because y'all just made me think of something. I wasn't planning this, but I got to find this out.
Home, and they happened to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens.
Right.
And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew, it was quiet, and we get up, and
Okay, so this is my thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. We didn't know it at the time. So someone had to know that they were playing outside. And I'm assuming it's the grandmother from her camper. Right? Grandma knows from the camper. But we didn't know it at the time. How long were they out there playing approximately? Kids are not quiet. You're not going to see a quiet 4 and 6-year-old. Right? Why didn't she stay up after calling school? You don't leave little ones. I mean, it's okay. So this is the thing. At 6:15, she's awake. Right? When did she lay back down? Because there's only an hour and 45 minutes until they're missing. Right? What time did Lily and Jack wake up? What time did they wake up? What time did they get out of bed? It's so blatantly obvious, in my opinion. Lily's a screamer. She's got some lungs on her. She does. Does not happen unless they are gone or in bed, in my opinion. Yep. So that's why I think something happened Thursday night or maybe early hours of Friday. Maybe she actually, I have this is just me, right? So if this is an accident, right? If this is an accident, you're obviously going to be frantic. Terribly frantic. You know, if something happened to both your kids right there, even if it's a neglectful accident, if they got into something or whatever. But if, let's say something happened, let's say she woke up at 5 a.m., right? Let's say she woke up, let's say Malaya and Daniel woke up at 5 a.m. in a theory. Trying to play theories out here. And she notices, she goes in the bedroom, she notices that something happened to them, right? She freaks out, she screams, she calls Daniel, and it's chaos. Daniel calls his mom or whoever. They come over. Is she going to have enough wherewithal, enough mind, enough sanity to say, oh shit, I need to call at 6:50, you know, I need to call the school to tell them they're not going to be at school today? You get what I mean? Or, you know, that's just, you know, an hour and 15 minutes before this alleged phone call, email, whatever. If you can play outside, you can go to school. I agree, Ginger. I agree. I mean, if you don't have a fever, you're throwing up, or you have diarrhea, you can go to school. How would she show that you went out the sliding glass door if she was drifting in and out of sleep in a different room? Can you explain how she would know that she went out the sliding glass door if she was drifting in and out of sleep? She wouldn't. She wouldn't. She wouldn't. Mm-mm. But that's the thing. Let's say something happened at 5 a.m. You found them at 5 a.m. and you're panicked. Are you going to say, oh my God, I need to call the school an hour and 15 minutes later? Or is it more likely something happened Thursday night and you had all the, you know, you've had more time to plan why they, you know, to call early that morning because you've probably been up all night. And that's why, for me, it's harder to believe that something happened early that morning. Is it possible? Yes, it certainly is possible. But it's less likely, in my opinion, because if that phone call took place, right? Hey, pretend judge. My love. I'm sorry, you sent this earlier. No person, adult or child, nor animal has ever been unalive from THC or OUID. Any other substance? Yes. Yeah. I don't know what OUID is, but I know what THC is. And you're right. It's not. It might make them loopy. One second. Wait, Daniel works on Fridays. Allegedly. Allegedly. Okay. Allegedly. So there's that. Now, why would she use Daniel's phone? So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. Oh, actually, hold on.
Tell him my partner, Daniel, I tell him, "Do you hear the kids?" And he says, "No." And we get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere.
Okay. Bullshit. No, Malaya. No, Malaya. No, no, no. That's not going to work for me.
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit.
Mm-mm.
Bullshit.
Not going to work. No, ma'am. No ham and no turkey. Not going to work. You are dozing in and out of sleep, and you just pop your eyes open and you say, "Do you hear the kids, Daniel, my partner? Do you hear the kids?" No. And it looked like, I picture something off the Home Alone video, right? Where I think it's the mom and the dad. They go, "Kevin!" You know what I'm talking about? The old Home Alone. I'm old. But it's an old Home Alone video where they go, "Kevin!" That's what I picture. You don't instantly panic. Hello, Miss Trishy. Good to see you, darling. You're late. Why would that happen? I probably can't see the glasses emoji. No, I don't think so. And the way she says, and I tell him, "Do you hear the kids?" Yes. I mean, I don't think it's completely odd that says, "Do you hear the kids?" But also, wouldn't you be like, "Lily, Jack," right? When did a kid ever start listening to you about not coming back and forth in your room to begin with? She says Lily's back and forth in the room. So that doesn't work for me either. Have you seen this? I don't know. Let me check. So guys, I'm going to read you something because I don't want there to be silence. And I have not verified this, but it is about Jack and Lily. Someone just sent it to me. So I'm reading it to you the first time. I cannot verify it. Guys, hit that thumbs up button. We're at 804. If we get to 1,000 thumbs up, we have a mother chicken party. Oh my God. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. Okay. Backstory on, and all of this is alleged and not in my opinion, it's by someone else. Backstory on mom and missing child Lily and Jack's bio father, Henry Joseph Brooks, age 41, was involved in allegedly, I'm going to put allegedly in there, allegedly involved in prescription drug trafficking ring in Nova Scotia in 2014. It seems likely he is Malaya's Brooks Murray's father, given the user statement and location proximity, but this isn't confirmed publicly. The evidence leans toward his arrest for trafficking. Hold on. Make the text bigger. Trafficking hydromorphone and weapon charge with no recent updates found. Background, according to this person on X, Henry Joseph Brooks, identified as Malaya Brooks Murray father, was reportedly involved in criminal activity. This section explores his connection to the ring DRUG, I can say drug, I don't know why I'm saying that, drug ring, and his age details. Henry Joseph Brooks, age 41 in 2014, was arrested in Truno, Nova Scotia, for his role in prescription drug trafficking ring, specifically trafficking hydromorphone. He faced additional charges, including possessing a concealed weapons and a prohibited weapon as part of the case involving 8 individuals. Could be could it be possible that mom and stepdad was also involved in DRUGS? I mean, wow, Hope. Yeah, I'll show it to you. Who said it? It's someone alleged it, the White Rabbit. I don't know who that is. I have no idea. Yes, we know previously due to CPS, right? I have no idea. I have no idea. If I got up and called the school, I wouldn't go back to bed. I would maybe lay down on whatever room my kid was in. I mean, if you was up all night, maybe, but I don't see how she could do that with 3 kids. I don't get it.
They're yelling for them, and I instantly just call 911. I just had the instinct I needed to call. They're both really go-lucky children. They're so sweet. They talk to anyone. They'll talk your ear off. They will speak to anyone in a store. Everyone. They're just extremely sweet kids. I appreciate the huge search effort going on right now. But we've been pushing for an Amber Alert, which hasn't been issued, not just that they could possibly be abducted, which it is a possibility that they could have been abducted,
Hold on.
that they could issued, not just for an Amber Alert, which hasn't been issued, not just that they could possibly be abducted, which it is a possibility that they could have been, but just an alert to let everyone know that they are missing. We had people text me saying that.
Well, this is the thing, Malaya. I understand with the Amber Alert how you feel about that. I get that. I agree with you on that. But if, since that didn't happen and RCMP says there's no evidence to suggest that they were abducted, and to your words, get the word out, why are you not helping get the word out? No one can advocate for your children better than you. You are a mother, number 1. Number 2, the biological mother and the biological father of Lily and Jack Sullivan have been essentially quiet since day 1, except for 2 minutes. And that's just the absolute bear right there. So maybe if you want to get the word out, your words, why aren't you helping? I mean, I don't believe Daniel, in my opinion, either. But he'll at least stand up to a camera, right? He'll at least stand up to a camera. Daniel could have said, these ain't my kids, not my problem. He could have went deuces. right? But he shares a kid with her. And when I mean, I say this all the time, guys. I cannot imagine being a missing child. And let's say I really am somewhere, someone abducted me, and I'm watching television or I'm watching the internet or whatever, and I see everyone but my mom and my dad doing something, right? Can you imagine your mother, your father not speaking about you, that you were missing? And can you imagine as a parent not speaking for one of your family members, or most importantly, your children? You know what I mean? The number one priority for a parent is to keep their child safe, period. Yeah. Ooh, guys, it's coming a big storm here. Ecole. I mean, what the hell is wrong? So there's that. Now, let's see here. When it comes to 6:15 Friday morning, why would she not use her own phone? She didn't allegedly use her phone. Why? Was it off? Avoiding. One second. Apologize for that, y'all. Uh, in my opinion, there had to be a reason why she did not use her phone, right? At all. Nobody really notices Jack that morning as well, which I find. They said that they could hear Jack playing, which is convenient, but there's no really anything else about him, which is sad, in my opinion, right? So there's a reason no one is talking about, in my opinion, Thursday evening. It's not forgetfulness, it's avoidance. The complete lack of detail, in my opinion, allegedly screams cover up. This wasn't a mom calling about a cough, in my opinion. This was someone making sure no one came looking for the kids Friday morning or calling them. But why Daniel phone? Why 6:15? Those aren't just parenting quirks. To me, that's strategy for a specific reason. So, not there Thursday, not there Friday. And if she didn't call Friday or Thursday at 6:15 a.m., that's a problem. Why no mention of Jack either? I'm so sorry. Okay. I apologize, y'all. I hate that. I believe there is a threat against them by family members that snatched the kids. This is the reason she kept emphasizing maybe they were abducted. Well, that's interesting because Daniel does say that he mentioned people's names. But why would someone do that? And what could potentially could potentially be over their heads and make a family member do something to them? Number one. I don't see it. Justin, if Malaya didn't want the kids and wanted to leave Daniel, she would have to take them or would have looked bad on her. Now they're gone, and so is she. I think she's the guilty one. I think it's virtually impossible for both of them not to know, in my opinion. I think it's absolutely just virtually impossible. Daniel could be telling if Malaya was cheating. Now that's I either think one, this is the thing. If, let's say, one of them snapped, I'm turning my phone off. Let's say one of them snapped, right? One of them snapped, and would the other one tell on the other one? The unpaid debt thing is, I don't buy it, Robin. In my opinion, can it happen? It can. It's pretty rare though. Most people don't want kids. They want money. They just want their money. No, Daniel, he wouldn't tell on her. You know what? That does make sense now. It really does make sense now, because think about that. He wasn't expecting Malaya to leave him, right? So he might have taken up for her, right? Malaya could have theoretically snapped, did something, but he loves Malaya, and he went ahead and went along with it, right? Went along with her thing because he would lose her otherwise. But then the second day, he loses her anyway. But he's already told this story. He's already said what he says happened. They came up with the same story, even though they really blew it out of the water. He's a softie. I don't know. I don't know. Seems odd in Cesspode stories. It does. It does. Why are they so tired that morning? Well, I don't know why she's so tired. She's up at 6:15. You know what I mean? She's literally up at 6:15. So it doesn't make sense. Guys, I have to jump off of here. I love you all so very much. I'm probably really coming back here in just a few minutes. But I do need to go take care of something. I love you all. I appreciate you. I think they were up all night. SL. I really do. Aimlessly. Thank you guys. Y'all are so sweet. I love my pearls so very much. I really do. I avoid key questions, Shirley? I do? I mean, I beg your pardon, but I don't avoid anything, ma'am, ever. I'm not scared of answering questions. But there is, when you have 1,500 people in here and there's one me and it's going 742 miles per hour, it just doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way, unfortunately. Okay. So you're welcome to email me, Shirley. I will be extraordinarily happy to answer your key question that you feel is so valuable. I would love to answer it. I know I did answer one of your key questions earlier. So I work my ass off, respectfully. All right, guys. Love you all. Appreciate you. And thank you all so much. Let's find Lily and Jack Sullivan. Damn, it's storming here. Love you guys so much.